What's going on, Socialites? Welcome to the Global Pokemon Society Draft League Week 3 review. We're going to hop right into it as we take a look at the minor leagues. They just finished their second week of battling, and we see here, 2 weeks in, the Diamond Desert Dwellers are taking a big lead here. 2-0, 13 points. Well ahead of the other 2-0 team, the Chicago Slow Kings, with only 2 points. We got a bunch of 1-1 teams, the Primals and the Chicago Scrafty, both having nice differentials, and it is nice that the Primals got that third game win in their loss, so that'll give them some very nice tiebreakers. And then we got two 0-2 teams, both with minus 15 points, but Daytona does have that one game win, so the Florida for Alligators got to start turning it around. The minor leagues, of course, only a 7-game season, so we're basically a third of the way through it already, so the team's got to start picking it up and see what they can do here. Taking a look at the top performing Pokemon after 2 weeks, we see that Medicham is still at the top here with 9 KOs, despite it doing nothing in week 2. It's been able to stay up there with 2 KOs. The Chicago teams representing the next several slots, as the Scrafties have both Kingdra and Ambipom up here, and the Slow Kings have Swellow and Shiftry, both on the top half of the top 10 Pokemon. Primals representing again with Manectric and Wigglytuff in the bottom half. The Slow Kings add Nidoking in the bottom half. The El Paso Electros Raikou, and the Daytona Colossals Mr. Mime. I don't know if 4 and 5 is considered top performing, but this will kind of even out later in the season. So let me know what your thoughts are. Who are your early favorites in the minors? As you see, Diamond Desert Dwellers 2-0 right now. Let's take a look at the schedule, see what's going to be going on this week. Those Diamond Desert Dwellers and those Chicago Slow Kings, the 2-2-0 teams, are going to be facing each other this week. So a lot on the line with that battle. See what comes out of it. As for our 0-2 teams, Florida's taking on the Chicago Scrafties and Daytona is taking on the Primals. So those are two better performing 1-1 teams. So if those 0-2 teams want to turn around, they definitely got a match here. And then the Psyducks and El Paso, two longtime GPS veterans, facing it off here. I'm sure there's some bragging rights on the line. Now we move over to the majors, as things are heating up after 3 weeks, a third of the way through the regular season here. Your Boston Braves sitting pretty 3-0 with 31 points, but we got several other 3-0 teams, as Paris Saint-Germain also in the Eastern Division 3-0 with 23 points. In the South Division, you have the Tuscaloosa Talonflames 3-0 with 17 points, and in the West Division, the Denver Ninetales 3-0 with 7 points. Again, that forfeit win, despite getting that win, not accruing any points, gonna hurt them when it comes to tiebreakers. Then we get to our 2-1 teams. The Oklahoma Thunderous looking very nice, 2-1 with 5-game wins and 13 points. Then you have the Lavertown Gangars, who just took their first loss of the season to those Oklahoma Thunderous. So they dropped 2-1 with 4 points. Charm City and Pittsburgh both 2-1 with minus 6 points. Again, they both got forfeit wins that first week of the season and then got decimated by the Boston Braves, so leaving them with negative points there. Looking at our 1-2 teams, Vero leading the pack of 1-2 teams thanks to their extra win in their week 1 loss. Memphis picks up their first win. They're looking pretty nice, almost at an even differential. They just need to pick up a few more wins here to be back in the thick of things. The Driftville City Dragapults at 1-2, and the Buffalo Badoops at 1-2, but with the largest differential, negative 25. So they gotta win, and they gotta win convincingly to get that differential back. Then we have 4 0-3 teams. The New York Yankees do have a game win that they picked up in their loss to the Badoofs. So they are separated from the rest of those 0-3 teams. But as you see, the LA Kinglers, the Tokyo Tokias, and the Black City Zekrom, all 0-3, haven't picked up a game yet. Looking at our top 10 performing Pokemon, we see Garchomp didn't pick up any KOs. I think it picked up one KO last week, but still sitting at the top with 13 KOs. Rotom Wash from PSG boosted its way up to 12 KOs. Tyranitar still performing with 12 KOs. Creselia's up there now. Ludicolo all with 12 KOs. Porygon Z has been doing well for Volcarona, 11 KOs. Then you have Gorbis and Rotom Frost with 10 KOs. Miss Magius representing the Boston Barriers with 9 KOs. And Mamoswine with 8 KOs as well, rounding out the top 10 for those Pokemon. Take a quick look at the schedule here. Any interesting battles that we have going on this week? We will have a battle of undefeateds here as the Denver Ninetales reigning champs take on the current #1 team Boston Braviaries. We have two 0-3 teams. The LA Kinglers will take on the New York Yankees, so someone's going to get their first win over here. We have a very interesting battle here as the Pittsburgh Poltergeist and the Memphis Muse face off for the first time. For those who don't know, Kevin and Anthony are engaged, so we will see who gets bragging rights in that matchup. And those seem like the key matchups of the week, so let me know which matchup you are excited for there. Next, let's take a quick look at the free agents that were picked up this week and see if any teams got the shakeups that they wanted. Alright, so up here on the screen we have this week's free agents. The Pittsburgh Poltergeists are dropping Zapdos and Toxicroak, two of their B tiers, to pick up Magneton and Uxie. Very interesting stuff there. I do like Magneton as a Pokemon. It's a great steel trapper. Not sure if that's something Pittsburgh needed. They definitely lose out on a lot from Zapdos. They lose out on Defog there. Although they do like their Rapid Spin with Hitmontop. They just lose out on like a bulky Pokemon as well, although Zapdos is not as good as it has been in previous generations. Toxicroak is kind of like meh when you already have Hitmontop. But, yeah, be interesting to see how they do with these additions. Lavender Town Gengar's dropping Cordilli and adding Venusaur. This is very interesting. Again, Venusaur's kind of the same boat as Zapdos, as it really got nerfed this generation. No longer has Earth Power, doesn't have Weather Ball. And Lavender Town doesn't have any Sun to really play with. They have the Tyranitar and Garchomp core. But the rest of her team has definitely been struggling. And they do lose out on some bulk by dropping Cordilli and going for Venusaur. Maybe they're looking to minimize their fighting weakness a little bit here, as Tyranitar is already really weak to fighting, as is Cordilli, so picking up a fighting resistance in Venusaur could be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, I mean, I like Cordilli, but I can see some teams not so much. I think also, are they playing Charm City this week? No, they're not playing Charm City. They don't play them at all. And Charm City's the Sun team in the majors. But anyway, Dripvale City Dragon Bolts dropping Aggron and Glalie, picking up Swellow and Perugly. So they definitely needed some speed on their team. I recommended Swellow to them. Not sure about Perugly. I feel like, I don't know. Dripvale is a weird team. They're one of those teams that I just don't know if you could really fix it there. And I'm surprised too. They dropped both Luxray and Glalie, which I think are better Pokemon than Mothim and Pachirisu in singles. Especially Pachirisu can do some stuff in doubles with Follow Me and, you know, Volt Absorb, but I feel like dropping the Luxray and stuff was definitely a head scratcher. And the Charm City Charizards are dropping Registeel to add Hariyama. This will give them a little bit more offense. Hariyama, with its gut set, belly drum, it gets access to some priority. It can definitely be a pretty heavy hitter. Registeel, as you saw in the match against the Boston Braviers. I'm not saying Registeel can't do some stuff. It's definitely a bulky boy, but maybe you shouldn't be using Zap Cannon and Hammer Arm and Lock On with it. I think there's better sets, but I think Charm City prefers Steelix for their Steel type as well as their ground type. So that's that. I don't hate that move. And then the Miners had their first weeks of free agents. Only a couple teams made changes. We see the Chicago Slow Kings, who are currently in second place, dropping Nidoking and Blaziken and picking up Tyranitar and Sandslash. So trying to get a little bit of a weather core there. Tyranitar and Sandslash being the only Sandrush Pokemon available in this game. So I don't hate it. There are a lot of weather teams in the minors. You got 2 rain teams. And as you see, we are going to have a sun team coming up here too. So there'll definitely be some weather wars going on. And yeah, Blaziken's kind of weak since we banned Speed Boost on it. So the other team that made some changes are the Phoenix Primals. They've been doing really well this season. They're dropping a lot of Pokemon though. Cloyster, Ludicolo, and Linoon. Picking up Torkoal in the A tier, Victory Bell in the B tier. So now they have this nice 1-2 punch for the Sun team. They already had Charizard, so they really have the Sun core there. And also picking up Kabutops, which not only is a pretty decent lead Pokemon with Stealth Rocks and Rapid Spin to remove your opponent's hazards with weak armor, and Focus Sash, you can get off some hits as well before you go down. But it will also help them in their weather matchups against the rain teams, giving them a Swift Swimmer who is honestly faster than a lot of the other Swift Swimmers and gives some good moves such as Knockoff, which is good utility, Leech Life. I believe it still gets in this game to hit the likes of if someone decides to pick up Ludicolo. And then Stone Edge, of course, just does big damage, especially with its chance to crit. So yeah, those are the changes. That's everything that was happening following week 3, season 7 of the Global Pokemon Society. Let me know how you're liking the season. Make sure you catch up on all the battles. And week 4, we've already had some matches going on. You might have already seen them being posted by some of the teams. And we'll have the reigning champ in the Boston Bravies going up tomorrow. As always, thanks for watching. Stay classy, Society.